Now, I have sitting next to me the guru of all things strategic, and he is certainly the finest. He and Pastor Schlee are the finest children's pastors in Kansas City for sure. Yeah, for sure. And God sent them to us. God sent them to us about 4 years ago, almost to the day. Tomorrow's the day. Wow. How cool is that? 4 years ago, they joined us, and it's been a long process. They've seen us climb, they've seen us fall, they've seen us climb again, and they've watched us walk through some really difficult seasons as a church. But we've stood the test. We've committed to the vision. We've been marching through it with purpose and intention. And God has really, I got to say, God has really put a great team together. He's really put a great team together. And so when it came to this is one of Pastor Ryan's graces, one of his fortes, is the strategic dynamic and the design dynamic. And so I'm just going to ask him to kind of talk about, kind of what we've designed, what we've planned as it relates to a new facility.
Yes, you have in your hand a handout that shows some pictures and floor plans and stuff, but a little bit into the history of what we looked at. When we had our last vision meeting in February, Pastor mentioned it. One of the things we mentioned is that we looked at other places, other facilities that could be larger, and we looked in that option, and we saw that we may have an open door that's right here in our backyard. You see, we have a plot of land that's to our north here, just on the north side of the building. It's got green grass over the parking area that looks like it was made for a building. Now, if I understand correctly, it was made for the Olathe Bible Church did plan on that originally, the original owners of the facility. Church of the Harvest has tried to build there before, and we ran into a few snafus. So you may have heard, if you've been here a while, about the river that runs underground about 11 feet down.
We have a river.
Yes, we have a river.
How awesome is that?
Yes. If you've ever looked closely at
Everybody
that grass,
has to talk about a spiritual river, but we have an actual river.
The actual river, yes. Instead of a river flows through, its river flows under it. There you go. There you go. And that hampered building plans in the past because we were looking more ambitiously towards a church that could handle everybody at one time. It would require a bigger footprint. It would require going into a basement, going deeper into the ground, and it pretty much added too much cost to build out there. And so we kind of dismissed the idea. Well, we re-engaged that idea this spring to see, is it possible if we just stayed above ground and we had a smaller footprint, and could we build something that would actually bring us to the next level? And we had some construction engineers take a look at it, and they said, if you keep under this size, if you stay above ground, yes, you can. You could do it. So that opened up an opportunity for us. But then we thought, wait a second, parking. Look at the parking. Do we have enough parking spaces here? We added them up. There's 288 parking spots here. If you have worked with any construction before, you know that the city requires ratios, and the city's ratio is a 4-to-1. However many people you're going to have, it has to be one parking space. Although that isn't practically how many people come per car, it's more, the better ratio would be to have it at 3-to-1. Basically, we could handle at a 3-to-1 ratio over 860 people at one time on this campus. This opens up some possibilities. Now, how this room is configured as you are right now is that there's 250 seats here, and we have space for 125 kids and staff in the rest of the building. That is a 1-to-2 ratio. If we were to increase space for adults, we got to be able to have the same amount proportionally space for kids. So it wasn't just about saying, oh, let's build an auditorium. Let's make it 500. We had to be able to do the math to say, could we fit 250 kids in the existing building? We crunched a lot of numbers. We looked at a lot of different things. I have pages and pages of little scribbles of notes and calculations, and guess what? We can do it. We can build a 500-seat adult auditorium. If we take every square inch of this facility, convert it to kids and teens, we can handle 250 over here. That's amazing. That's 750 max capacity. When Pastor threw out that we could have over 2,000 people here, that's 4 services worth at 80% of that 750. And I'm throwing out numbers, but just to kind of show there's a lot of thought and a lot of strategy into putting it together besides just the design. And so we started looking at, does this help for the long term? He said we are committed to multi-service. We want to stay intimate We want to keep the size down. And in designing an auditorium for going into this new place with little over 500 seats, we wanted it still to feel small. And so we actually took the measurement of what this back wall is to that back wall there. And in this new facility, you can barely see it on the floor plan, but that's the farthest you will ever be from the stage. We are just going wider. We're going to be able to fit 500 seats going a little bit wider than we have right now, but it's still going to feel close. It's still going to feel intimate. It's going to create more space. This auditorium, we have designed it with sound engineering in mind. It's going to be in a fan shape. The sound, we want to be impeccable. Yeah. We want it to be amazing. We want it to be that artists and bands and musicians, they want to come play in our place because it sounds so great. Mm-hmm. We're taking into consideration how the sound bounces around, how high the ceiling is. Imagine for a moment a big fan-shaped room. Imagine a big square, but the stage is in the corner. The ceiling is over 30 feet high. Really tall ceiling. It'll be exposed. You'll see kind of the ductwork, but it'll be the new modern style of painting it all black. We'll have treatments on the walls. We'll have it set up where you notice we added triple screen up here. It's kind of a cool deal, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're going to try to continue that in there, but we're going to go a step further, and we're going to do something called environmental projection. And that is where we're going to take projection on the walls that wrap around the stage to help to bring creativity to the worship experience through that and colored lights. And you see, it'll be more of an atmosphere of worship, using technology to enhance your experience as you're sitting there in the auditorium. With it, we've taken into consideration more things about the sound as far as when you enter in. These doors right here open up to the lobby. As soon as that door opens, you hear whatever's in the lobby. And if it's in between services, you hear those people and vice versa.
That's why we insist that Betty comes into the service.
Yes. Yes.
Because we don't need her out there distracting people.
Oh, man.
Right. Betty, I love you. I love you, Betty. I love you. She just waved at me. I don't know what that meant.
Goodbye. Oh, man. From our auditorium into the foyer area, there'll actually be a double set of doors. You'll actually go through 2 sets of doors. It's going to provide a sound trap, trying to keep the sound in and keep the sound out. The walls are going to be extra thick to be able to keep the sound in and out with it. The stage. Our church does some pretty spectacular productions, would you say? We got the next one coming up is going to be the Children's Christmas Play.
Oh, that's right.
Children's Christmas Play, and then the Books of Heaven's on deck here in the future. And this stage is kind of tough to do productions on because the stage is open there's no backstage area. And we're going to create a stage that has backstage area, has curtains that can close, kind of as a combination of backstage and front stage together to create more square footage and better use of the square footage for the auditorium. So it's going to be a great auditorium. We're not going to take the purple chairs with us. We'll
sell them to you, though.
Yes, if you want a chair.
We'll make you a deal.
Yes.
$5,000 a piece, and we'll build that building.
There we go. There we go.
It's an idea. I just thought I'd throw it out there and see what happens.
Nice. We're gonna have a very modern look and feel. We're actually going simplistic in a lot of our design features. This is not going to be a cathedral of a room. It's not going to be stained glass. It's actually going to be for art and the presentation of the gospel. We are going to build a baptismal into the stage. Baptism services more often, yes.
Yep.
If you get baptized behind the stage in the backstage area, which is also be shared with the offices, there's going to be changing rooms with showers. You can change and clean up and everything. And if you've ever been a part of Summer Explosion, you know we end with slime. And we get cleaned off out here with the cold water hose. We're looking forward to being able to wash off a little bit more warm water. Also behind the stage of the auditorium, we are putting in a large-size green room / band practice room and choir room. There's going to be a space dedicated to that. It's going to be amazing. Nice big space, a little bit bigger than what the elementary auditorium is right now. So it'll be a nice good-sized room there. We're going to have offices that are on the back side. It could be facing, now I'm turned around this way. towards Black Bob. There's going to be a nice entrance that you see from Black Bob. We tried architecturally to say we don't necessarily want to match the style of what we have right now. Because if you've ever heard Pastor talk about our building, he would say, we'd never pick this look. It's not us. And if you notice when you're in here, the inside look looks different than the outside look. It's very contemporary, very warm, very inviting inside. Outside looks old. And we're not old.
No.
No. In spirit and in age. There you go, right? Would you agree with me? There you go. We have a small lobby here. Very small lobby. It's actually, yes, very small. What makes it even smaller is the height of the ceiling. You feel claustrophobic coming into it. It might as well be a hallway that's out there. It's so small, and you get people in there. I've been stuck in traffic jams out there, have you? You can't even get from one side to the other. It's crazy. It's crazy. And so we said we've got to have a big lobby. It's got to feel open. It's got to feel big. So the lobby we've designed in this building is as big as this room. And has a ceiling just under the height. It's an 18-foot ceiling, which is just under the pica here, but imagine square. It's going to have a lot of cubic space. It's going to have an open ceiling design, lots of room.
Skylights, yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to get some skylights put into it. It's going to be a really nice feel, get some outdoor windows you can kind of see, get some daylight in. It's going to be really nice in that regard. If you've ever tried to use the restrooms here, there's usually a line. There's not enough restroom space off this lobby, especially when the kids take over the other restrooms, which is important. It's for their safety and yours. That's why we do that. But that leaves it with not enough room here. We've provided ample restrooms off the lobby in the new space. Wouldn't that be nice? There's also, off the women's restroom, is a nursing mom's room. So you don't have to travel all the way back into the children's ministry. It's right there next to the restrooms. We want to take care of our nursing moms. There's a lot of moms to be. We're excited about that. So our children's ministry is growing every which way, internally too. We're putting in some adult classrooms into the new space. Now, every square inch of our facility, we maximize the effectiveness and the efficiency of it. We say that our space is multi-purpose, but we don't sacrifice multi-purpose to say that that's an excuse to be bland. Our children's rooms look like children's rooms, but they're very functional as classrooms for adults. Kind of fun to be in too. Mm-hmm. We just had some guest pastors in the elementary auditorium, and the guy kept on saying to the main speaker, "This is a great room. This is a great room." I'm thinking he might go design one in his new building or something, just like it. But we say that when a room is dedicated to a space, we say that the primary owner of the room, that's who gets the decor and the look. But it still is a very multifunctional space. So when we say there's going to be adult classrooms in the new space, the primary user is adult, so it's going to look like adults, but it could be used for other people. It's still multi-purpose in its design and space. One of the rooms we're designing is larger than the elementary auditorium, and it's designed and placed strategically that if we ever, we capitalize on ministry time and prayer and the church interactive as part of our services, and we have people getting saved, people who are getting healed and delivered in our services, but sometimes people need some extra time. And we don't have any place to say, go back in this corner over here. We don't have a place to send them. But now we're going to be able to say, if you go back through that door right there, there's a room here where there'll be people who can pray with you. Or we have visiting families say, you want to come meet the pastors? The pastor's going to be waiting for you over there in that room. Come talk to them. Come meet with them. We're going to have space where, with a classroom like that, right now we had to have new members class upstairs in what was formerly known as the youth auditorium. Formerly. It looks so dead up there. Vacated like a ghost town. But if you're not physically able to take stairs, then right now you can't go to class.
True with pre-service prayer as well.
Pre-service prayer is up there right now, and if you can't make it upstairs, then you can't go there, and we feel really bad about that. That's not intentional, but that also just shows how we've maximized space, and there's more space. And so adding the space is going to be a great deal. Having the extra rooms, the offices, new conference room. There's this building, the retrofit of this building. One of the things we said as part of this project is that this is not just about building a new space for the adults. This is not just an adult-only thing. And this happens in a lot of churches. You see churches, especially around this area, that you can tell exteriorly where they've added on. And the adults get the new stuff. And what usually happens is all the money and all the work and all the planning and everything nice goes to the adults, and the dilapidated old stuff gets pushed back. The youth might get something, the kids, and by the time you get to the nursery, it's like, whoa, nasty. Yeah, you don't even want to go into the annals of the church and see what's happening. And we said, that's not going to be the case for our church. We want to retrofit this building where when you walk through it, it may look one way on the outside, and we can't really change that. But on the inside, we want it to be undeniably a youth and kids facility. That inside, it looks just as nice as what we've just done with the adult side. Now, it's going to be a lot more cheaper to do, but that means when this auditorium becomes what we call the next-gen auditorium, where the youth in the elementary are going to share this auditorium, we're not going to let them keep purple carpet.
Oh, really?
No. No purple carpet. We're just going to make it like exactly on these chairs. We're not going to leave purple chairs and say, youth, you got the old church chairs. No, we're looking at being creative and sell them and get chairs that say, yes, this is for the youth. These are teenager chairs that they're going to like, that the color scheme is going to look great. We don't even want it to feel like the old space. We want the kids to say they got something new too. That we have built, Pastor, you said just a little bit ago that our growth has been a large part about our follow-up and our care and everything of how we're taking care of our people. But the other half of that component is what we've been doing as a church to reach kids and teens. We've been investing time, resources, money to say that kids and teens matter at this church, and we want to make sure that translates, that philosophy and those values translate into what you see when you physically see the building. This project is going to be awesome. It's going to be, I'm super excited about it. It's going to work for us. It's going to allow us to grow. It fits in with the expansion. And the cool thing is that by building on this site, we still have our visibility of where we're at. We have a great location right on Black Bob Road. Just recently met somebody Friday night that they came to the church because they drove by. Still working.
Yep.
It's a good location. We're not hidden in some back industrial park where if you can find us, you can come to church. We have a good location. We have enough parking. We have space. We don't have to do landscaping. We don't have to bring in utilities. It's a pad. It's all ready to go. That makes the project cheaper, and yet we're going to get a 40,000 square foot facility when we're said and done, and we're looking to do this in a year. We can do this.
Yep.
We can do this.
Amen.
It's going to be awesome, Pastor.
I'm excited.
Yes.
Just listening to you, and I've heard it 10 times. And so much of our growth is related to Pastor Ryan and Shalee's efforts and their efforts as it relates not just to the children, even though they've done just a superlative job. And the children's and youth ministries are really driving a lot of these decisions. But it's also the immense amount of work that he's done in the design, the thoughtfulness, the strategic planning, the actual footprint layout. Pastor Ryan has saved us a lot of money by his efforts in those things. And so we love you guys. We really appreciate you. Thank you for what you do. You're dismissed.